30 November 2021 Morning Murli Om Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children, wake up early in the morning and remember the Father, and you will become Satopradhan. The early morning hours of nectar are very good. Question: what are the signs of obedient children? Answer: obedient children bless the elevated virgins of the highest on high Father on their heads, that is, they put them into practice. Their behavior is very royal, they are very patient. They have the incognito intoxication of becoming the masters of the world. Obedient children never cause the Father to be insulted due to any of their actions. Children who insult the Father, that is, those who disobey the Father, do a lot of disservice. Obedient children constantly follow the Father and never perform wrong actions. Song: leave your throne of the sky and come down to earth. Om Shanti. You sweetest spiritual children heard two lines. You children have now understood the meaning that the Father is here. The Father sits here and explains the right things to you, because whatever people say about knowledge or about meeting God is wrong. You heard the words of the song, leave your throne of the sky and come down to earth. However, no one knows what the throne of the sky is. The purifier has to come. Some say that God doesn't exist, whereas others say all are God. So, why would he come? You children know the Father has now come, and so you don't like listening to those songs of the path of devotion. The purifier comes, gives you his introduction, and explains to you the secrets of the beginning, the middle, and the end of creation. No one else in the world can understand these things. Here, too, there are so many people with different ideas and opinions. They say it's impossible for human beings to become pure. How could anyone become pure unless God came? Only God comes and gives you the teachings and also the temptation of how great the attainment is through this. You know that the Father says, if after belonging to me you don't follow Srimad, there will be punishment. When a father sees that the behavior of his own son is not right, he would scold him. This father doesn't scold anyone. He simply explains. Some write their promise in blood, and yet they are then defeated. People don't know what they attain by becoming pure. Who is called impure? The Father explains those who indulge in vice are impure. People think it's impossible to renounce vice. Tell them that the deities were completely viceless. You should show them the pictures. This world was viceless. When there was purity, Bharat was so wealthy. It was Shivalaya. People are concerned about how the world population would grow without vice. The government is concerned about stopping the population from growing, and yet the number of people increases so much every year. It is very difficult to reduce it. Here, the unlimited Father says, if you become pure, I will make you into the masters of the world. The income is great. Your children know that by becoming conquerors of Maya, you truly do become conquerors of the world. You will conquer Ravan and attain the kingdom of Ram. Thus vices cannot exist there. You would have conquered them. Hardly anyone understands these things. They say, how would the world continue without it? You should understand that those who speak in that way do not belong to the original eternal deity religion. Wherever you give lectures, say, God speaks. God says lust is the greatest enemy. By conquering this, you will become the conquerors of the world. The explanation is very straightforward, yet they don't understand anything. Or perhaps it is that those who explain are not so clever. Baba understands that some children have hardly understood 5 annas mean worth of a rupees, or else they haven't become full yogis themselves, and so they don't receive strength. Only by having remembrance do you receive strength. Baba is the almighty authority. If you have yoga, you can receive power. Many children have very little yoga. No one writes the truth to Baba. Hardly anyone writes his or her chart of yoga. If the teachers themselves don't write their charts, how would the students write them? Many students are very powerful in yoga. The main thing is to remember the Father. The word yoga is from the scriptures. People become confused when they hear it. They say, teach us yoga. Oh, but yoga is not something to be learned. Wake up early in the morning by yourselves and sit down to have remembrance by yourselves. There is no need for a teacher to sit and teach you. That is why the word remembrance is good. Yoga is not something to be learned. That habit should not be instilled, means of wanting to learn yoga. The Father says, consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father, and you will become Satopradhan. It is good to remember Baba at Amrit Vela. Even devotees perform devotion early in the morning. This one also remembers the Father. Why does he remember him? Because he is to receive the inheritance from the Father. Although people remember Shiv on the path of devotion, they don't know what they will receive from him. Only you children know this. The Father gives you the Srimad. In order to benefit yourselves, remember me. It is only by having remembrance that you receive power, and it is through power that your sins will be absolved. Sins will not be absolved by having knowledge. You will receive a status with knowledge. You become pure from impure by having remembrance. Many children are failures in this. Many very good Maharathis hardly remember Baba, even 5 annas worth. Some don't remember Baba, even 1 paisa's worth, means 1/6 of an anna. This requires a lot of effort. The explanation can be understood very quickly, but only when you stay in remembrance can your boat go across. Only then will the sins of many births be absolved, and only then you will become charitable souls. You call out to the Father, come and purify us impure ones. Many will become pure, but only those who stay in remembrance very well will claim a high status. Those who are in bondage remember Baba a lot more than you do. It is only by your having remembrance that your sins will be absolved. If someone says that it is impossible to remain pure, you shouldn't even speak to them. When Bharat was voiceless, it was Satapradhan. But it is very difficult for this knowledge to sit in the intellects of wealthy ones because effort is required for remembrance. The Father says, while living at home with your family, fulfill your responsibility to them. In fact, the laws here are very strict. You have been donating to sinful souls for birth after birth and have continued to become sinful souls. You must now no longer give money to sinful souls. However, if it is their grandfather's inheritance, you have to give that. This is why the Father says, first of all, fulfill all your worldly duties and then surrender yourselves. A handful out of multi-millions like this emerge. The destination is very high. Follow the Father. To become a destroyer of attachment is not like going to your auntie's home. It requires great effort. To become a master of the world is such a great attainment. Those who have become the masters of the world, every cycle will become those again. The significance of the drama sits in the intellects of only a few. The wealthy are not able to be uplifted that easily. The poor quickly say, Baba, all of this is yours. In that case, they also have to do service. Remembrance is also required in order to become pure. Otherwise, a lot of punishment will also be experienced. If punishment is experienced, the status is reduced. Those who don't stay and remembrance experience punishment. No matter how much knowledge you receive, sins are not absolved through that. What sort of inheritance would it be if you have to experience beatings and then receive a low status? In order to claim the full inheritance from the Father, you have to obey the Father. The elevated versions of the highest on high Father should be placed on your heads. The Krishna soul is also claiming this inheritance at this time. I am once again teaching the Lakshmi and Narayan souls at the end of their many births and giving them their inheritance. Among you, there are also those who are to become prince and princesses. The behavior of those who come from a royal family is very patient. They have incognito intoxication. Baba gives with so much simplicity. He knows very little time remains and that he has to go and become the world emperor. This one was also impure. This one is Baba's chariot, and this is why he has to sit here on the gaddi. Where else would Baba sit? He too is the student, just like you, and is studying. Many children don't recognize the father. Dharamraj is also with the father. The father says, if you don't obey me, if you insult me, Dharamraj will then punish you a great deal. You are disobeying me and my child directly. The father has only one long lost and now found son. He has love for him. If you insult this one, you will have so much punishment. Just let a few more difficulties come. See how so many will come running here. All of you came running here. This one didn't do any magic, etc. Shivbaba is the magician. There are many who are unaware that Shivbaba enters this one. If you do something wrong in front of Shivbaba, he will say, you are an unworthy children. There are two in this one. This is why telegrams are addressed to BapDada. However, in spite of that, some children don't understand how Bap and Dada are combined. The father gives the inheritance through Dada. You should bring this up yourselves. Do you know who BapDada is? Let someone ask you to whom you are referring when you say BapDada. BapDada cannot be the name of one. Your children should explain tactfully. When you explain to others, it should sit in their intellects that Shivbaba gives the inheritance through Dada. Destruction has to take place now. Baba is teaching Raj Yoga before that takes place, and you should also study this. The Father to whom you have been calling out for half the cycle has now come to give you knowledge. Nevertheless, some say they don't have the time to understand this. You would then say, you don't belong to the deity religion. You don't have the happiness of heaven in your fortune. Here, it is not a question of bowing your heads. People definitely bow down at the feet of sannyasis. This one is incognito. As you make further progress, your influence will spread a great deal, and there will be many crowds at that time. So many people die when there are huge crowds. Such a big crowd gathers to have a glimpse of the Prime Minister, etc. Here Baba is sitting with your children in such an incognito way. Whom would you see here? You know that this one was a jeweler. It is written in the scriptures how the human world was created through Brahma. The Father says, I enter this one and create it. This too is written, but those with stone intellects don't understand it. The Father comes and purifies you and then transfers you. He doesn't create a new creation. This is the way to purify the impure. There should definitely be the variety form picture. If you have a large picture, it will be easy to explain. It is not easy to change those with stone intellects into those with the divine intellects. Some simply come, look around like crazy people, and then go away again. Something or other will sit in the intellects of those who are to become subjects. We are Brahmins and we are to become deities. Baba has explained the meaning of hum so hum so clearly to us. Those people say that each soul is the supreme soul. That's it. Here, you souls exist all the time. We souls are first Brahmins and then we became deities and then warriors. We go through so many different clans. We go around the cycle of 84 births. How many births on average would those who come later take? You can calculate this. Very good pictures that Baba likes should be made. There should be 2 or 4 very good children who can help in creating these pictures. Baba is ready to pay the cost and Baba will then make the treasure store full by himself. Baba says the main picture should be created in transparencies, means translate. People will become very happy when they see them. The whole exhibition set should be created like this. However, Baba has to make effort to make the children alert. Remembrance of the Father is the main thing. It is only by your having remembrance that you will become pure from impure and the masters of the world. There is no other way. Remember Baba while walking and moving around. The cycle also has to be remembered. You should have a very raw nature. While moving along, some are caught up by greed and others by attachment. Some are so used to getting things they like that they become ill if they don't get them. It is because of this that you should not form such habits. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point. In order to benefit yourselves, obey the father's orders. Never disobey BapDada. Don't have any habits of greed or attachment. Second point, make your nature very royal. Wake up early in the morning and practice remembering the Father. Blessing, may you be an experienced image and reveal the image of the Father and the teacher with your own image. Explanation, to stay in your real position is the pilgrimage of remembrance. Remain stable in knowing what you are and who you belong to. With this real form of faith and with your awareness of victory, many times you will constantly continue to move along in the waves of the ocean of your intoxicated state. Since you are the children of the bestower of happiness, how can waves of sorrow come to you? How can the children of the Almighty Authority be powerless? Stay in the experience of this position and the Father and the Teacher's image will automatically be revealed through your image. Slogan, those who are honest and truthful will have divinity in their faces and in their activity. Om Shanti